You know, the word Fatiha it actually means a opener or a key, like maftuh. Fatiha is got from the root maftuh, which means a key. Surah Al Fatiha is a surah that opens the doors to other surahs. It's like an introduction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to Himself and gives to the entire Quran. So when we understand Surah Al Fatiha, we basically understand the whole Quran. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Surah Al-Kitab is the Al-Kitab, the mother, literally the mother of the book, which means like it comes like the Quran, the entire Quran is the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha. The ideas that are established in Surah Al-Fatiha is explained in the entire Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the surah with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Now, I will ask you guys to give the translation of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. The word Alhamd, it means two things. It means al-madh, it means a praise, it means a shukr, things. So in Arabic, some words, you can't give them only one meaning. They need to have multiple words to explain their meaning. So alhamd actually means it combines two words, al-madh or al-thana and al-shukr, which means the praise in things belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now there's an important note to be noted that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the Quran with alhamd. When we say alhamdulillah, we are saying that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we praise you and we thank you. Whatever you're doing is amazing, and also we're grateful, we're thanking you for doing what you're doing. For example, if whatever our job is, or whatever we're doing, whatever our life is about is going on, we're thanking Allah and we're saying, oh Allah, this is amazing what you're doing. I am over satisfied, like satisfied another level above satisfaction. You're amazing. You're saying it's amazing. You're being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving you that life. So when we're saying Alhamdulillah, we're saying, oh Allah, what you're doing is amazing, and we're grateful to you. Some ulama, some scholars have said that Alhamd necessarily means true. It's necessarily true things. It's necessarily true gratitude and true praise. Now some of us, when we are standing on salat and we're saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, we miss the main point. We're saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, but we don't feel it. That's not really Alhamdulillah. When we say Alhamdulillah, we gotta feel it with our heart, in our mind, and we need to declare it with our mouths. When we're saying Alhamdulillah, we gotta feel it, and we gotta feel it with our heart. Like for example, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever you're doing is amazing, and I'm grateful for it, but you need to feel it with your heart. Alhamdulillah, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbil Alameen. When we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the word Rabb has multiple meanings. That is just injected in the word Rabb. Rabb means Al-Malik, Al-Sayyid, Al-Murabbi, Al-Mun'am. Rabb means the owner, the controller, the giver of the gift, the insurer, the sustainer, the insurer of the growth. So when we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, we're saying, oh Allah, all praises in all things belongs to you, belongs to Allah, the master, the owner, the insurer of the growth, the sustainer, the controller of Alameen, of whatever is between, whatever is in the universe, basically, in the worlds. So this Quran opens with the word Alhamd. And one of the main crises in our ummah that's happening is that we're not being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly with our heart. We always, focus on what's problem, what's wrong, but we're not focusing on what's right. The Quran teaches us in its first word that we always need to be grateful and look on what's right, but not look on what's wrong. look on the side of what's right and not look on the side of what's wrong. So for example, it's giving us optimism, it's bringing us this optimistic feeling that we need to be optimism about this world, about our life, about our interaction. So in Salat, when we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we are being grateful truly from our heart, in our mouth. We're praising Allah, we're saying, oh Allah, what you're doing is amazing, with our heart and with our mind. And when we say this, some people, they say, when you ask them, how's work, brother? They say, Alhamdulillah, it's not that good. You're not really saying Alhamdulillah, but you're saying Alhamdulillah. You see, Alhamdulillah, it's truly, when you say it, it's true. It's not fake. It's not fake, it's true. You're saying it is true. So when you're saying Alhamdulillah is good, it means that, well, my job, at least I have it. It's better than nothing. I'm grateful for Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the wisdom behind it. It's amazing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing, so I'm grateful for it. In this ayah that's very great, is the first ayah of the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala embeds many lessons in this ayah. One of the lessons is optimism, that we as ummah, as generally, we need to be optimism. We need to be about our life individually and collectively be optimistic. We need to always hope for better. We need to always not be disgrateful, because our religion is not teaching us in the first word is gratefulness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us in the first word of the Quran that we as a ummah need to be optimism about our life, about this ummah, about the future, and about everything. We need to be optimistic. The next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about His mercy, His love, His care. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, if you go to the translation, it says the most beneficent, the most merciful, or something else like that, as those lines. But actually, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, if you go to the true meaning, true Arabic grammar, it actually means more than that. Ar-Rahman, there are three characters, there's three qualities that scholars have given it. One of those qualities that scholars says Ar-Rahman necessarily means it's right now. Ar-Rahman is right now, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being merciful, is being loving, caring right now to me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being caring, loving to me right now. Ar-Rahman, it necessarily means right now. It's like an unimaginable mercy. It's so it's in an intense form. This word, this noun form is in its intense form. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, is loving, caring, unimaginably. It's it's beyond imagination. And Ar-Rahim is the always merciful, the always caring, the always kind, the always merciful. The third ayat talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ownership of the day, justice. Malik Yawmiddin, the owner, or some other reciter says Malik Yawmiddin, the king. These both are right recitation, correct recitation, which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king and also the owner of the day of judgment. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says day, we cannot even claim the ownership of 1 second, because if I explain it, like for example, whatever is going on this universe is imagine all of it going in this, if you have a bag and you have everything inside it, time is the bag. Whatever is inside it is inside that bag, inside that time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala claiming the ownership of the day of judgment, He's claiming that whatever is happening in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have full control and is owner of that day. Malik and Malik. On one side of this equation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He's the exceedingly and beyond imagination, beyond expectation, unimaginably merciful, loving, caring, concerned. But on one side, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says His justice. It shows us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, He's caring, He's loving, He's merciful, but He's also justful. There's one side, there's equation, which teaches us that in our life we have to bring a balance in equation. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is loving, caring. When we do a sin, when we lie, or when we do something that is haram in this religion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't send a axe to cut our hands if we steal or something else. You see, it's because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, love and care. But we should not take advantage of that care, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the next ayah, Malik Yawmiddin, He's the owner, complete owner, He's the complete king. He controls and He also owns whatever happens and will happen in the day of judgment. So we will be judged in one side, the justice of Allah is in one equation, in another equation Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about His unimaginable mercy. Then the next ayah, we reach to a conclusion as a ibad, as slaves, we reach to a conclusion. We say, Iyaka na'bud. Oh Allah, we're done. You're the exceeding merciful. You're the Rabb. You're the owner. You're the everything. You're the Malik. You're the owner of the day of judgment. You created me. You're my Rabb. You're my master. Iyaka na'bud. So I'm gonna to you I'm a slave. We declare our slaveship. We declare our servant. Allah, to you only I'm enslaving myself to. Na'bud doesn't only mean worship. It also means to enslave someone. So when we say Iyaka na'bud, we are saying, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to you only we enslave ourselves. Wa Iyaka nasta'in, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this slaveship is not easy for me. I'm gonna do my best. But I need your help. So wa Iyaka nasta'in, and from you only I seek my help. This nasta'in is the word that is derived from nasta'in is aun. This is an interesting word because this word is used when you did your best, but you couldn't do anymore. You did your best, but for example, you go on a highway, your car just, stalls, you pull, on the sideways, and then you do your best. But anymore you can't do it, then you call someone to help you. That's aun. Or for example, in Badr or other battles, the Sahaba radiallahu majma'een, they did their best. They went into the battle, and then the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes. And this is a very important thing, because first we need to get our efforts up. We need to do our efforts. We need to do our servantship. We need to first enslave ourselves, do our best. Then the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guaranteed in this ayah. Then after that, we seek Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. Ihdina, I just want to talk about the last point, and then inshallah we'll hand it to the other speaker. Ihdina is a very, very, very related to our communities as general and as individual. This is one of the main things that is missing in our societies. We seek guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say, Ihdina, guide us. If you go before this ayah, we say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, oh Allah, hamd belongs to you. This is individual. We're saying, oh Allah, to you. This is singular, it's not plural, right? This is singular. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, we're praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're saying, oh Allah, you're the exceeding merciful. It's still individual. It's not collectively. We're not saying, it's not collective, it's an individual. But in this ayah, it switches from individuality to plural. Ihdina, guide, we do not say Ihdini, guide me. We say Ihdina, guide us. Which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us a great, profound lesson that guidance does not come individually. Guidance comes collectively. We have to work together as a community, as a collective people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً, that mu'minun, that the believers, true believers are brothers. I am brother of you, you're my brother. This is what Islam teaches us. The guidance does not come individually. We should not go and make sects, but we all should come together as a community, seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance and help. This is the profound lesson that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us that's missing in our society. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that my ummah will be divided in 73 sects. And all of them will go to hellfire except the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Why is the ummah divided into 73 sects? All of them goes into their own interpretation of the Quran. All of them goes into their own interpretation of the Hadith. All of them makes their own books and all of these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us that we need to be together, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, oh Allah, we are enslaving to yourself. First, we need to, as collectively, work together, enslave ourselves, put our efforts, make our efforts as collectively, then seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help collectively, then say, oh Allah, please guide us, then the guidance will come. So there's three things. First, as a collectively, when we work hard, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guaranteed. Then the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guaranteed to the sirat, to the path, to the straight road. Sirat have a few qualities. It's a wide road, and it necessarily is a straight road, which means some people will be behind, some people will be in front, some people will go in slow pace, some people will go fast. So no matter where you are still counted in this ummah. So when we say Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, we're saying whoever is behind me, whoever is in front of me, whoever is next to me, whoever is going fast, whoever is going slow, all of us, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us guidance. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, to the straight path. Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is saying that the path, al-Ladina, of those an'amta alayhim, who you have showered your favors. Now, there's many people claiming to be on the straight path, but they are in fact aren't. And that's the main point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us here. That you have to follow the messengers. You have to follow the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sahaba radiallahu majma'in, and the Tabi'un, and the ulama. You have to not create sectarianism in this religion. It doesn't exist in this religion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us that lesson in this ayah. Surat al-Ladina amta alayhim. We're not saying we're going to create our own straight path. We're continuing on the straight path that our people went on that path. Like Musa alayhi salam, who have been graduated from that path. Or Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who have been graduated from that path. We have to follow their example, their life, their sunnah. And after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, which means that not the path of the recipient of the anger or the lost one. Now, in the translation it might be different, but maghdub is the one, is basically, it doesn't say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doesn't say my wrath, but it's a recipient of anger, which means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wrath, the rock wrath, the angel's wrath, the people's wrath, not of those people who have earned, who are recipient of anger. So they're constantly are earning people's anger, angels' anger, angels' wrath, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wrath. And these are the people, and Rasulullah explained this. He says that Maghdubi alayhim is some of the groups, some of the aspects of the Jewish community is Maghdubi alayhim. Why? Because the Jewish, if we go and study the history of the Quran, the Jewish were the people who, they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of scholars, they have a lot of books. But you know what? They're not spiritual. They don't have any spirituality, they don't follow it. We were asking Allah, oh Allah, do not make us from those people who knew the knowledge, who knew what to do, but they didn't do it. They put their pride in front. And the other thing we were saying, وَلَا not of those who are lost. Now, ضالين doesn't necessarily mean astray, because this word is actually used for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran. In Surah Al-Duha, that أَلَمْ نَجِدِكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. Then we found you lost, but then we guided you. So we are seeing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad says that this ضالين, some aspects of Christian is ضالين, which means because some Christians, if you read the history of Christians, they actually are so good, they are so spiritual. They go to church every Saturday or every Sunday, they're good in worship. They don't have any knowledge whatsoever. They don't have anything doing with knowledge. They just do it. They're just spiritual. And we're saying, Allah, do not make us of those who are lost, and not of those who are recipient of anger, who knew what to do. For example, I will give you an example that will get the point across. I have a child, which I don't. I bring a cake. I tell him, smell this. He smells it. Then I tell him, I'm going to go to the store. Tell your brother, don't eat this. Neither you. You don't eat this cake, but smell it. Don't eat it, but smell it. And I will tell your brother also, don't eat it. Then I put that cake, I go, and then I come back, what happens? You know, they eat it, right? Why? Because now, who am I more angry at? I'm angry to the one who I told you do not eat that. Why did you eat it? This is the Jewish. Some Jews are not. Some aspect are Jewish. And I see the other brother that he also filthy mouth. I told him, why did you eat it? He said, he knew he was given them, but who am I angry most? To the one I told. Now, maghdubi alayhim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Jewish, do not do it, but they did. Do not, there's many things in the Quran that comes in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Jews, Inna Allah ya'murukum an tadbahu baqara. Musa alayhi salam tells them to slaughter a cow. They say, are you taking us as a joke? This is what they would do multiple times. And to the Christians, they don't have any knowledge. They pray, they worship, but they don't have any knowledge. Now, last point, Surah Al Fateha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in a Qudsi hadith, He says, قَسَمْتُ صَلَاتُ بَيْنَنِي وَبَيْنَ عَبْدِي نِصْفَيْنِ نِصْفُ لِي وَنِصْفُ لِعَبْدِي. I have divided, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this in Qudsi hadith, I have divided my salat, my prayer, Surah Al Fatiha especially, between me and my servant, my slave. The half is for me, the half is for my slave. Let's study the Surah Al Fatiha for a second. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. One ayah dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're praising Allah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Two ayats dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're praising Him. Maliki Yawmiddin. The third ayat, three ayats dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're praising and thanking Him. Iyaka na'bud. Oh Allah, we're enslaving ourselves to you. Is still dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am enslaving to yourself, I'm going to worship you and also enslave you. وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. Now 3 ayat in half. 3 and a half dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ is actually dealing with us. We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. So it's actually about us, not about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم is still about us. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم is still about us. The path of those who you have showered, favors. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Not of those of recipient of angers, not of the lost ones. It's still dealing with us. 3 and a half ayahs dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and 3 and a half ayahs dealing with us. A beautiful balance. Subhanallah. A beautiful balance in Surah Al Fatiha. 3 and a half ayahs dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praising and thanking Him. 3 and a half ayahs dealing with us. We are seeking His help. The last point I will make, inshallah, is this. Some people, they are very spiritual. They leave dunya completely. They completely, they're, if you look at them, they're completely weird. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in this beautiful surah, in this beautiful balance, we should not be extremists of those who completely leave dunya. Because there's one dua that we say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا مِنْ عَذَابِ النَّارِ. But there are some people on the other extremist. There are some people who completely are attached to the dunya, who completely leave akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us not to be of those. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِينَ. 2 groups. One who knows but still don't, but one who doesn't know but still does. So we should not be neither of those groups. And let's make a dua inshallah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us neither of those groups. Alhamdulillah, 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 wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.